Hello everyone, welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, a very interesting story. Over 700 forces of the Sudan People's Liberation Army in opposition, the SPLA-IO, under the leadership of the detained first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar, have actually defected to the SPLA in government, or SPLA in government, the Sudan People's Liberation Army in government under President Salva Kiir Mayardit. Now, most of these people who defected are from Unity State. And Unity State, for most of us, we know this is the strong base of Riek Machar. This is where his massive supports come from. Machar happens to come from Unity State. And it is from there that over 700 men defected to the SPLA in government. And these are led by the Commissioner of Brobkona County in Unity State. And they have decamped to the SPLM party. And they said they don't have any problem with the SPLA-IO, but they are paying their allegiance to the SPLA in government. And also the Deputy Governor of Unity State made it clear that he's very aware of the defection made by a section of the SPLA-IO, and that he wished them very well, because it is their right to have the right of political association. They have the right to associate with whatsoever party or pay allegiance to any person that they feel it is right for them. And I feel that this is the right thing that the SPLA-IO administrators or top-ranking officials can do. I mean, it's very good that people's choices are respected, just like what the Deputy Governor, who is also the chairperson of SPLA-IO, Tongwar, said about these men who defected to the SPLA government. It is their right to choose which side of the political divide they want to be in. But now, one of the biggest questions I was asking when I read this news is I was feeling, why has this come at this moment when there appears to be a series of defeats against the SPLA-IO? I mean, we have had stories of recent news stories coming from Jonglei State and Unity State of some of major sites which have been very contested hardly by the SSPDF and the SPLA-IO. We've had places in Wad, places in Pajud, places in Urol. These places have been very, very contested between the SSPDF and SPLA-IO. And the SSPDF appeared to have sent its mercenary to these places, and they've engaged the SPLA-IO in this fight, and they appear to have actually recaptured all these areas. The SPLA-IO appear to have been given bloody nose, and they have been, I think, defeated in most of these areas. Now, this defection is coming at this moment. I have a feeling that the SPLA-IO is actually seeing massive defeats that is coming to their side, and that's why they are actually decamping the SPLA-IO side and getting into the SPLA government, because they have seen maybe that there is no any hope of the SPLA party, of the SPLA-IO party or army in those areas to actually succeed against the government. But I'm also looking at this defection in another different angle, and I feel that, sometimes you have to play a very long strategy in order to succeed. If you are an army, if you are in politics, you don't have to do things in a very right and straightforward way. Things have to be done in a crooked way. And I was also thinking that maybe this defection of 700 forces from SPLA-IO to the SPLA in government could be a strategy made by the SPLA-IO. Sometimes if you want to win people, you don't have to all be on one side. You have to send people into the other side of the enemy who act as moles, people who can be there as spies, people who can be there to get for you the right information. And in that way, you have to do in a manner that appears as if these people have abandoned their side and they are going to the other side. But the major reason there is to go and spy the activities of the other side. And therefore, in that way, it could be very easy for the SPLA-IO to do other operations when they have a very reliable information from these sources. Now, imagine a forces being led by Commissioner of Brobkona County and leading all these forces to the SPLA in government, and they are going to be welcome and integrated into the SPLA forces or the SSPDF forces. So it is very easy for these forces, in case they actually send, I'm not saying they are sent as spies by the SPLA-IO, but there is a possibility about that. So if the SPLA-IO are sending these forces as a spy to the SPLA government, I feel this is a very good move for them, because these people will be operating there, looking at various critical informations and leaking all these, taking it back to the SPLA-IO, and therefore it makes it very easy for the SPLA-IO to operate. Sometimes we don't all have to operate from outside. Some of you have to operate from inside, and that is where you rely on information. That is where you rely on issues to do spying. So if that is a strategy being applied by the SPLA-IO, and I think that is a very smart move by the SPLA-IO, but I'm not saying that that is the exact thing. I'm saying it could be, there is a possibility of it being that way, that these men who defected, the 700 men who defected from SPLA-IO to the SPLA in government, could be spies that are strategically placed by the SPLA-IO. I mean, it happens. It happens. We have seen this in many political battles, not only in politics, but military battles. We have seen this happen, that some people are sent into the other camp as spies, as moles. They go there just to destabilize things, to bring out real information to their team, so that their team can now operate effectively and know how to place themselves strategically and face the other side and win squarely very well. And that is my thought about this issue. I'm not saying it is true. I'm not saying the SPLA-IO who defected from their camp to the SPLA-IO are spies. And I'm not also disagreeing that it could be true about it. There is a possibility of 50-50 thing about it. So you need to think about this. Tell us in the comment section what you think about this move by the SPLA-IO forces who defected. 700 of them defected from the SPLA-IO under Dr. Riek Machar, and they went to the SPLA in government, or the SSPDF, and they will soon be integrated into the SPLA in government, or the SPLA in government party, or the SSPDF. They'll be integrated and operate under the commandership of the Commander-in-Chief of SSPDF forces, that is Salva Kiir Mayardit. Write down in the comment section what you think about these guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'm Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast. On our business section for today, are you a South Sudanese parent living in Uganda who desires to preserve your child's national identity, cultural values, and academic continuity without sending them back to South Sudan? Then worry no more. Excel International School proudly offers South Sudanese families in Uganda the opportunity to access the South Sudan national curriculum in a secure, nurturing, and academically enriching environment right in Uganda. As you pursue stability and opportunity in Uganda, your children can continue their education seamlessly following the South Sudan syllabus, guided by qualified, experienced teachers who understand both the academic standards and cultural foundations of South Sudan. At Excel, they deliver genuine South Sudan curriculum, strong moral and academic foundation, experienced and culturally grounded educators, safe and supporting learning environment, and convenient campuses both in Kampala and Arua. For the Kampala campus, they are located at Zambia opposite the American Embassy, or you can contact the principal at 077-168-2831 or 074-2288-712. And the Arua campus is located at Adalafu in Arua City, or you can contact the management at 077-3498-768. Admission for the 2026 and registration for the 2026 academic year is ongoing. Parents are encouraged to register early as places are limited. Give your children an education that connects them to home, heritage, and hope without borders. Excel International School. Fear God to excel.